But you can expect it to be all over the place with the multiplayer. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just another way to lure people into spending money. I can see it already. You can unlock a whole bunch of cool outfits in the actual campaign, but when you go stepping foot into the multiplayer world, you're just a plain old Doom guy. At this point, the only way to look cooler is to start buying those cosmetic outfits, because you've already been enjoying playing them within the campaign, so you feel like you're missing things. So you're more tempted to buy them so you can feel cool again. It's just more try before you buy, and Bethesda's campaign is just an appetizer to get you on that treadmill of recurring spending.
Look, here's the thing.
Fine. Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
But what's up, guys? I hope you all are having a fantastic day today. You know, just full of positivity and happiness, dude. Because we are only a couple days away from Doom at this point. And well, personally, I'm very excited. But it also means I have to cram a bunch of these videos in of people trying to bash this game before it releases just to see how wrong they actually were. And you know, for that sweet, sweet ad revenue. So we're going to be taking a look at a just truly intelligent video uploaded to YouTube a couple weeks ago of this guy basically claiming to have insider information. Like, this guy is basically claiming to be able to predict the future, like he knows better than Bethesda and id, that 100% Doom Eternal will have microtransactions, beside the point of id Software coming out and specifically stating this game would not have microtransactions or an in-game store of any kind. But that doesn't matter, because this guy, he knows better than the people who made the game themselves. Now, the title of the video we're taking a look at here today is Why I Think Doom Eternal Will Have Microtransactions. Now, this is just a fair warning here, okay? This is probably going to be a pretty long video. This guy uploaded a 12-minute and 30-second video completely contradicting the official statement that id Software put out. And well, apparently this guy thinks that Doom Eternal will be bad because of Fallout 76, but I'm not even going to try to explain it because we're going to get into that later. So just a fair warning, this will be a pretty long video. Like, we're looking at least 20 minutes here, okay? So you know what, if you need something to drink, something to eat, you know, go get it, man. Get comfy, because this is going to be an experience, guys. The amount of facts and logic here on display is going to completely melt your brain and make you think about this game in an entirely new light. But anyway, without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and check out this fantastic video and find out how Bethesda and id Software lied to us all.
Welcome back, Estelden here. Hell on Earth! The Doomslayer is back! Bigger! Badder than ever! But still with this focus on multiplayer that I just don't understand. This is Doom Eternal. I know id Software are developing this game, but let's be honest. They're at the mercy of Bethesda and probably always will be. Which is a crying shame, because there seems to be some very passionate people over there. Certainly more talent, more passion than whatever we got from that original Rage.
Well, you heard the man, guys. You know, if Bethesda so much as even publishes a video game, even if they didn't develop it themselves, it's going to be instantly garbage, dude. So, you know, you might as well cancel your pre-order right now. Just stop being excited for this game completely, because, you know, Bethesda's publishing it, so it has to be garbage, you know, despite the fact that Bethesda also published Doom 2016, and that game turned out to be perfectly fine. But you know what? We don't have all the information, because remember, this guy knows more about Doom Eternal than the people who actually developed the game itself, because this guy is from the future, dude. He has information that hasn't even been released yet, that people at id and Bethesda don't even know yet. So you know what, we just need to keep watching this video, and hopefully this man will enlighten us so we can figure out what exactly is going on here.
But I can't help thinking that Bethesda, with all their shittery, just can't help themselves from interfering. From looking at their metrics, folding their arms in a sulky manner while they cry about all the microtransaction money they've missed out on over the years. All while they were focused on single player games. Doom Eternal was in the press for the right reasons not that long ago though, when the game was announced to have 0 microtransactions.
Exactly, which is why your entire video is completely pointless. But you know what? Here we are anyway, watching this 12-minute and 30-second masterpiece trying to contradict that statement with absolutely nothing to back it up other than the fact that, you know, Bethesda is Bethesda, which, again, quality-ass logic. But anyway, I already know someone's going to be in the comments like, oh, you're making fun of him for making a 12-minute long video, but you're making a 20-plus minute long video responding to him. You're a hypocrite, dude. Delete your channel. And to that, all I have to say is, at least I'm getting paid.
Hooray! Imagine years ago thinking we'd be celebrating a game not having predatory, vulgar monetization which ensures a game is promoted in such a way that it doesn't promote awful design. Well, that's where we're at, and the promise has been made, no microtransactions. At least at launch. I would never say never with these people. There's every chance the reviews come out, things are looking satisfactory, and then we're hit with that middle finger.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna be honest here. I kind of feel a little bit retarded, but I just noticed that the webcam footage in the bottom right corner is not actually him talking in real time. This man was so lazy in making this YouTube video that he decided, you know what, I'm gonna use footage from another video of me reading through a web page in OBS and use that as the background footage for this video. Like, this is less effort than the quartering puts into his YouTube videos, which is really saying something. But at the same time, man, you know what, I kind of respect it, dude. He was like, fuck it, man, I'll just use one of my old YouTube videos as the background footage for a new one. And you know what? I must say, it really does add to the overall experience of this quality-ass content we're taking a look at here today.
And they'll pop them back in under the guise of player choice, players wanting options. But why am I being so cynical? They promised. So I must just be looking for an excuse to get upset, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, not too long ago, it was revealed that a Bethesda account will be mandatory, even if you buy and plan to play the game on Steam.
Okay, I promise I'm not going to stop this video like every 2 seconds, but this part is really important because it's basically the entire crux of his conspiracy theory of why this game is going to have microtransactions, even though they have said definitively that it's not going to. So just pay attention to this part.
Well, not too long ago, it was revealed that a Bethesda account will be mandatory, even if you buy and plan to play the game on Steam. This by itself is just garbage, as Bethesda have already done the whole around the world in a hot air balloon of incompetence for the last year or so. Their security has proven to be a complete joke, and now we're being forced to sign up with our details to play this game on another platform. Console users escape this, of course, but us free folk on PC are stuck with this mandatory crap. The real reason this is a big deal, though, is if you do some research on the other Bethesda games that require this, they're all games with microtransactions, and the ones without them, you're not required to do so.
Look, here's the thing.
Fine. Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
I just really start to wonder how much longer I can keep doing this, man, because this level of stupidity is not something that people should ever be exposed to, and this guy is definitely reaching so hard. Like, to make it even worse, too, he claims to play on PC, which I would probably go out on a limb and say that like 99% of PC players could figure out why you have to sign into a Bethesda account on PC, where on the consoles you don't, and that's because a multiplayer game, or not even a multiplayer game, a game that features a multiplayer mode like Doom Eternal, that is sold on 2 different storefronts, requires an account that unifies the 2 platforms working on the back end in order to make cross-platform play possible. So that way people who buy the game on Steam, where 99% of the people are going to buy the game, because let's face it, anyone who buys the game on Bethesda is probably not right in the head, but you know what? It allows those people who buy the game on Steam to play the game with the people who buy it on the Bethesda launcher. That is the only reason. That's why console players don't have to sign in, because they only have one source from which they can buy the game. PC has 2 different platforms available, and therefore, to make it possible to play with people on the other platform, you have to have that Bethesda account. It's just like Fortnite requiring the Epic account for crossplay. Like, this is not some deep-rooted conspiracy theory to, you know, pull the wool over everyone's eyes and sneak microtransactions into this game. Like, this guy is sipping that Bethesda bad Kool-Aid real hard, and I wouldn't really say it's a stretch either to say that this guy watches way too many Young Yeah videos.
This company is the scum of all scum, so they just cannot be trusted. I mean, you look at Wolfenstein Youngblood, a title that we were given the impression was going to have a big, exciting single-player campaign. We were marketed with it. They had their big E3 announcement, we had this absolute peanut, Pete Hines banging on about, oh, taking acid, killing Nazis, this is insane! Well, that might have been the previous Wolfenstein, but they all blend together now. It's all the same shit, let's be honest. But what we did end up with was a looter shooter, for God's sake.
So I'm just really confused on what this even has to do with Doom Eternal. Like, we're talking about 2 completely different developers. We're talking about a game that was not really even a game. It was one of those standalone expansion packs or whatever, like Far Cry New Dawn or something like that. So I don't really know, dude. That game flopped too, so it's not like they're going to repeat that. But what does this have to do with Doom Eternal? So because a completely different studio put out a shitty standalone DLC game, that somehow means Doom Eternal is going to be bad or have microtrans. I really just don't follow this, dude. Like, maybe someone can explain it to me in the comments, but this guy is literally looking for a reason to complain about this game.
This is the company that only a couple of years ago was banging on and on about Save Player One. They filmed a commercial for it, tried to push a whole bunch of quality games like Prey, Dishonored 2, The Evil Within 2, and convince people to buy and support them. But the whole ploy was a complete sham. Why? Because Bethesda had already abandoned single-player games at this point. All these travesties we've been getting, they were in development back then. Fallout 76, Youngblood, they'd already moved Arcane over to some live service they're developing, pushed their founder out the door, and they'd killed the Dishonored series.
Great, dude. Now I get to white knight for Bethesda because that's exactly how I want to spend my Monday, you know? Just what a way to start off the week. But anyway, it was not Bethesda that killed off Dishonored, it was low sales. Dishonored 2 had a massive drop in sales versus Dishonored 1, and Death of an Outsider, or whatever that spin-off game was, completely bombed. So, you know, they put Dishonored on hold because the games weren't selling, and newsflash, Bethesda exists to make money from the games they put out. They are not a charity. They're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart or for the love of video games. They're in this to make money, and why would they develop a non-profitable game? But at the same time, what the fuck does this have to do with Doom Eternal?
They were doing all of this while pretending they gave a toss about the single-player gamer, and that they wanted to keep developing single-player games. Lies! All lies! They don't care. They made big, massive titles like Skyrim and they felt there was money in it. Now they think it's gone the other way. Lies! All lies! And they're just chasing that cash cow. Doom Eternal is the latest. It's the big game, and while they appear to be pretending to push the single player campaign, pretending to be all about the players, I am not so sure anymore. My first worry is how they're developing single player. Now I haven't played this myself, but I've spoken with people who've played the game already.
Is he really trying to pull this? Like, he's trying to claim that he's talked to people who have played this game. You know, he probably watched some YouTube videos of people playing the game and giving their impression on it. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, just cut the shit.
Footage that we've seen, it just seems like it's going to be more of these arenas. It's all arena-based levels. Less focus on the level design, secrets, exploring mazes like the original Doom was actually designed. Nope, it's hopping around like it's Quake 3, performing quick time action kills and seeing how quick you can clear these arenas out. I know arena gameplay might be nice for some people, but Doom for me was all about those mazes, finding those hidden keys, the secrets.
I just really can't, bro. Like, I've used Doom Boomer in the past as, like, kind of an ironic insult, but that is literally what this guy is. Like, he is literally saying, back in my day, Doom wasn't about killing demons in arenas. It was about collecting keys and mazes. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this video was made not to talk about the microtransactions. It was literally him wanting to find any reason to make a video where he could bitch about this game not being like his precious Doom games made in the 1990s, because this guy, like, oh my god, this is so cringe. Like, he is looking for any reason to bash this game because he literally is of the mindset of it's bad because it's different.
Sure, I don't doubt that some of that will be there. I mean, this studio has passion, like I said, but I think there's a directive from Bethesda to get people accustomed to multiplayer style gameplay. Things like level design, exploring, enjoying progressing through a game, they're all the sorts of things that the video game industry wants to suck out of people and replace them with bread and butter multiplayer components.
As someone who claims to know about the classic Dooms, you really don't, because multiplayer has always been one of those things that made Doom extremely popular. Like, you're talking about the game that invented deathmatch, that basically paved the way for all multiplayer shooters we have today, because Doom was the first to do it, and that's the reason why the games were so popular. It was the multiplayer. Sure, the single player was great, but everybody was obsessed with the multiplayer, and if you don't believe me, look it up, dude. Like, honestly, this is not something that I'm lying about, and it's something you should probably know as a classic Doom fan. Multiplayer has always been a focus, but at the same time, never once have they said they're sacrificing the campaign. Like, I think, if anything, Doom 2016 should tell you that they really prioritized the campaign because they themselves worked on the campaign and they outsourced the multiplayer. It turned out to be shit. It just so happens this time they're going to be working on both components, which that should excite you, not make you worried about it. But once again, you're looking for any reason to bitch about this game.
These campaigns are expensive to make, and given the people who run the publishing outfits don't give a toss about video games, they just want to be in a position to make money from an industry that's not regulated. They will look for ways to push players in the direction that they want to go. With Doom Eternal, if you watch promotional material for it, they'll mention the campaign, the epic monster of a campaign, but they'll quickly get off that and start talking about all their unique multiplayer components and how exciting and developed they are. I'm worried that the campaign is just a base for these multiplayer components.
You're already just lying, dude. They talk about the campaign all the time, but on top of that, they don't want to give out too much, dude. Like, there's a thing called spoilers. They want people to be surprised when they play this game. They want them to experience it for themselves. There's a reason why movie studios don't put out the plot to new release movies before they actually come out. They want you to go and see it. They want you to go buy a ticket. They want you to experience it yourself. The same with a video game. They're not going to spoil everything in the campaign. They want there to be some level of excitement where you don't know everything going going in. Like, that to me is pretty common sense. And they're talking about the multiplayer a lot because it's brand new. They built it from the ground up specifically for this game. Id themselves made it, so that's why they're excited about it. It's brand new. And for the most part, we know exactly what we're getting with the campaign. It's going to be fucking phenomenal. It's going to be Doom 2016 cranked up a notch, and this time 20 to 30 hours. We really don't need to know much more than that. The multiplayer, on the other hand, is brand new, and it has the potential to attract new people to this series. So I really don't see a problem with this, but once again, I'm not looking to bash this game for literally any reason.
The levels aren't real levels for the most part, but just multiplayer maps stitched together, resembling a campaign while the focus goes into promoting people getting into the online side. We saw it with Doom 2016. It was a lot of fun. The campaign had some of the same problems I'm worried about with these arenas, but it certainly had some variety, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But even back then, the multiplayer that no one really gave a shit about was getting pushed to no end. The season pass didn't contain a single campaign piece of content. All of it was multiplayer. What a missed opportunity.
Well, you'll be happy to know the Season Pass content this time around is all campaign content. There you go, you can rest easy at night.
Unless they simply aren't interested in providing us with good single-player content and simply want to say, well, if you want to play more Doom, then you're going to have to go online. And there we go. It reminds me a lot of Rockstar with their GTA 5 campaign DLC promises before they ultimately shelved them all and just stuffed our faces with more shark cards and GTA Online.
Except with Doom 2016, they never actually promised that. They were very straightforward on what DLC would be coming down the line. But you know what? You've done no research on this whatsoever. Obviously, you're just looking for a reason to bitch. And well, like I said, they're already remedying this. Like, all the Season Pass content for Doom Eternal is campaign content. So once again, dude, you have nothing to worry about.
The ultimate slap in the face that it seems Bethesda are continuing here. It is incredibly suspect from Bethesda because people have been hyped about the campaign. Hyped about the idea of Doom 2016, but newer, more guns, more levels, new enemies. And id Software are apparently delivered on that, which means it's a guaranteed seller, right? Well, if that's the case, why has this multiplayer focus been shoved down our throats?
To attract new people to the series. Literally, the most basic form of marketing on the planet.
And even more suspect, apparently it's been done with no microtransactions. Okay then, so are they just giving Doom players a multiplayer component as a bonus? I highly doubt it. And I mean, I reckon everyone knows there's not many people who would have zero interest in the Doom campaign but decide to buy it at full price to check out the multiplayer. That just doesn't seem like a very likely way to increase sales.
One, they're not giving you anything. You're paying $60 for the game, and that includes a multiplayer mode. And two, multiplayer is way more popular than single player. In case you haven't noticed, the most popular games in the world are all multiplayer games. So yeah, that is a pretty good way to attract new players.
What's more likely is that they're hoping to lure campaign players into the multiplayer and then pull the rug out from under them with a whole bunch of cosmetics along the lines of the Fallout 76 store. Pete Hines had previously gone around lying about no pay-to-win aspects in 76, and within a few months, that rubbish was being shown for what it is.
Alright guys, bear with me here, I'm about to blow your mind. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, in the case that does happen, do you know what you could always do? You could just not buy the microtransactions. Yeah, just let that sink in for a second, okay? And yes, it's really that easy.
I don't think Hugo Martin, the guy who told us there would be no microtransactions, had bad intentions. I mean, with all due respect, he's the art director of the game, and I highly doubt he has any sway when the head honchos from Bethesda and ZeniMax start demanding the game bring in as much money as FIFA, and that the only way to do so is to have real money purchases available. And the only problem I have with this comment is when he talks about $60 games. He talks about how it's a full price game. It's not a free-to-play game, it's not a mobile game, but this is all getting a bit patronising at this point.
Oh my god, the poor guy, he's getting offended now. How dare they advertise they're actually doing something good for the consumer?
In the last 5 years, I think you'd have trouble naming 10 games in the AAA scene that don't feature any microtransactions of any sort. So this has become the norm now. To pretend that Doom Eternal was designed with the concept of in-game purchases never being discussed or considered just seems very naive. If this was Bethesda of 2010, I'd take his word for it without question. But this is 2020 Bethesda, post-Fallout 76 Bethesda, and nothing is off the table. They were too scummy to create a bag in the manner they promised to the most die-hard of fans.
Okay, now I'm officially triggered, okay? I thought we were finally free of the Fallout 76 bag. Like, this bag to me is so irritating because I saw video after video after video after video after video of people talking about this Fallout 76 bag months after the collector's edition came out, and I'm just like, who the hell cares at this point? But you know what? It's being brought up once again, and now, you know, this is going to severely impact Doom Eternal as a video game because, you know, people didn't get the right bag in their Fallout 76 collector's edition.
Do you think they care about retconning some art director's Facebook comment about in-game purchases when it could be the difference between tens of millions of revenue? There's not a chance the online multiplayer mode wasn't developed without some level of plan in mind for how they were going to make money from it. There's probably not a single-player multiplayer game in existence nowadays that doesn't have some sort of recurring revenue stream for pushing things along. I think Hugo's comment at best means they'll keep the transaction elements away from their campaign in order to preserve some integrity, and God knows Bethesda, even just as a publisher, needs that now more than ever.
No, I think it was pretty clear what they said, and it couldn't just be, you know, that they want the positive press of saying their game has no microtransactions, because that's a pretty strong marketing tool, if you know anything about marketing in the modern video game industry. But anyway, yeah, no, apparently it can't be that. It has to be them, with malicious intent, trying to draw people in to spending infinite amounts of money on this game.
But you can expect it to be all over the place with the multiplayer. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just another way to lure people into spending money. I can see it already. You can unlock a whole bunch of cool outfits in the actual campaign, but when you go stepping foot into the multiplayer world, you're just a plain old Doom guy. At this point, the only way to look cooler is to start buying those cosmetic outfits, because you've already been enjoying playing them within the campaign, so you feel like you're missing things, so you're more tempted to buy them so you can feel cool again. It's just more try before you buy, and Bethesda's campaign is just an appetizer to get you on that treadmill of recurring spending.
This guy's actually trying to claim that there's going to be microtransactions day one in multiplayer. It's going to be littered with it, dude. You're going to open up multiplayer and you're going to be prompted to buy something immediately. Like, I really just don't see that happening, especially after someone that high profile coming out and saying that. That is literal corporate suicide and how to make your game tank on day one.
Now, I say Bethesda's campaign, but I mean, really it is id Software's, and I will give them a bit of credit. I think they'll go about this in the best way possible. Even if they've got both hands tied behind their back, they've got a lot of good people there. And the campaign will likely be fantastic in its own way. It's just a shame that there's that lingering feeling of Bethesda continuing to try and make their money back from failed experiments and single-player games like Prey that just weren't marketed properly. This whole Bethesda account fiasco is just the icing on the cake of all of this.
I'm genuinely done, dude. Like, this guy is paranoid. Like, this dude's one of those tinfoil hat motherfuckers who watches Young Yeah 24/7 and thinks every single video game is literally out to put you on the street. It's there to literally bankrupt you. Like, this guy is paranoid, dude. It is literally to enable crossplay. It is not some quote-unquote fiasco.
Having to create an account to use another storefront is just ridiculous. Imagine you go to a supermarket and you want to buy some apples, but the only way to do so is to fill out a form giving the Apple company all of your details before you can actually go and purchase the damn apples. This is what's going on here, and Steam should be the ones stamping their feet, telling them that they have enough nonsense to deal with thanks to Epic's shady tactics. The last thing they want is their customers copying more crap, and they should tell Bethesda to stick their account crap up their ass.
So Steam should tell Bethesda to not allow crossplay. That sounds like a great idea to please your community.
If we look at Bethesda's upcoming lineup, it's hard to see them not doing everything they can to try and milk Eternal as a cash cow. Aside from Elder Scrolls, it's basically the last franchise on their books that isn't dead, selling poorly, or being milked into the ground. Well, I mean, even Skyrim has been overdone to the point that people finally understand that gameplay loop. Loot dungeon, explore level scale world, loot dungeon, rinse and repeat, but anyway. They've pretty much got Doom and Starfield on the horizon, and that's about it.
My man, you literally just said that Elder Scrolls 6 is on the horizon, and now it's not on the horizon. It's only Doom and Starfield. You really just cannot make this shit up. You know, I'm gonna give you a suggestion here, and you can take it if you want, but in all seriousness, I would delete this video, man. Like, this is not a good look. You're already getting flamed in your own comment section. You have 10 subscribers, but 41 dislikes on this video with 3 likes. I mean, honestly, if you have any plans on doing YouTube, I would delete this video immediately, because even before me making this, you have attracted enough people that are going to haunt every single video you upload for your remainder on YouTube, and you will get nowhere. So, like, deadass, I'm not even going to encourage people to go find this video. Like, I don't link videos I talk about for that reason, because I don't want people getting harassed. But dude, you're going to get that either way, because there are some crazy motherfuckers who like Doom, trust me.
E3 might reveal a new Arcane game, but I'm not expecting much. I mean, that studio appears to have been gutted to the point that they're a live service shell of what they were before, with Bethesda likely calling the shots on everything that they do thanks to poor sales, on games they couldn't market correctly. Yes, I'm a bit bitter because Prey was one of my favourite games of that year, and it was treated like a flop when I found it to be even better than Bioshock.
If the game flopped, it flopped. It doesn't matter if you like it. That's the harsh reality here, dude. You know, I don't really know. This video is all over the place, dude. Like, luckily, we're on like the last minute or so, so just bear with me. If you guys made it this long, you guys are the real MVPs, and I appreciate the fuck out of you guys.
Eternal is basically Bethesda's last chance before Starfield to try and repair their reputation, so I have no doubt they'll try and handle it a little bit more carefully. We might not see microtransactions for a few weeks, maybe months, but they'll trickle in because the greed of this company has proven to not have any boundaries anymore. This game might be a test. They've proven how to get things completely wrong with every department with Fallout 76. They've hit themselves over the head with how badly they got it wrong with their deceptive marketing for young blood. Now Eternal might be the subtle approach. Let's pretend we're releasing a single player focused game, and once they feel comfortable, we'll slowly milk every last drop. Slowly milk every last drop.
Did anyone else think that sounded like a rape fantasy? Like, once we get them comfortable, we'll milk them for every last drop. I mean, shit, at this point, I'm just bored, honestly. You know, I'm trying to make something entertaining here because this dude is literally a broken record. This guy has fucking tinfoil on his head. Like, if you can't find tinfoil at the store, it's not the thing from China I can't name. It's this dude. He's making the world's largest tinfoil hat.
Starfield might be similar. Maybe it'll be the next Skyrim. But even if it is, it just won't be the same as the cat has been let out of the bag and Bethesda are never going to go back to what they once were. None of the developers they own are allowed to either. Even when we look at id Software, they might have different staff, focus on different genres than someone like an Arcane, but we've seen enough now between all these studios and how Bethesda have handled them that they might as well be one and the same.
I mean, all I'm hearing here is Bethesda bad, so Doom bad. That's basically what he's saying at this point, but luckily, guys, we have like 30 seconds left. If you could make it, I will love you forever, okay? I'm barely holding on at this point, so, you know, thank God this video is almost over. It is painful to watch this, and I'm having to watch this several times, okay? Like, this is probably like the second or third time I'm seeing this particular clip I'm reacting to, so, and I'll have to watch it again at least twice, so can't wait for that.
They just don't have autonomy. They've shown the world that if the likes of Arcane release a game that fails due to Bethesda's own marketing incompetence, that the studio heads themselves will be the ones on the chopping block, while the executives from ZeniMax and Bethesda likely get raises, and that's just how it is. I remain in hope that Doom Eternal is the game we want, the start of resurgence for Bethesda, but I also live in reality. I think we're in for another circus of a year when it comes to them, and their attempts to monetize this game may see the integrity being ripped from it as time goes on. Regardless, I look forward to another year of entertainment they'll no doubt provide, but for all the wrong reasons. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you again.
For all things holy in this world, I hope I never see another video from you. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for this video today. I hope you did enjoy it. You know, what we learned is basically absolutely nothing. This guy was going on and on and on about literally nothing, dude. Apparently signing into a Bethesda account on the PC version of Doom Eternal to enable crossplay between the Bethesda launcher and the Steam launcher is apparently some deep-rooted plan to monetize this game secretly and milk you for every last drop. I'll let you interpret that last part as you want. But anyway, guys, with that said, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to check out this video and for all the recent support as well. I do greatly appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next time.
Yeah, my life is lovely now, I'm focused on me.